Big adventure, tons of fun. For a heart faithful and strong. Sharing kindness, it's an easy feat. And magic makes it all complete. Holy shit!
Shut up! You're done, Ponyman. I've dealt with freaks. But you're something else.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
What's wrong is grown men who play with pony dolls.
They're just collectibles, that's it!
Then what's this? A tattoo? A cutie mark? No cartoon is worth such permanence.
But it has good animation.
It all ends here. The bronies' reign of magic and friendship is over. And in their place will rise again a cartoon that is profound and moving, like biker mice from Mars, or something else just as cool.
But that show is old and gay.
My ponies.
They're not my ponies.
No, not mine either.
Welcome to the Nexicon episode 11. This show goes up to 11. I am Michael Gaines.
Yes. And I'm Casey Coughlin.
Are you a brony?
No, I'm not.
I am not either.
Okay, then.
I do
Glad
not-
we got that out of the way.
My kids have seen My Little Pony, and I just don't get it. You want to talk
my
about?
little brother is a total brony and a half, and I don't get it at all either.
Get it either. You want to talk about friendship? You want to watch a good show about friendship? Star Trek. There you go.
Life lessons, friendship, sharing, different cultures.
Everything I ever wanted to know in life, I learned through Star Trek.
There you go.
There you go. Oh, we got a big show. We got a lot of things to talk about today. But before we start, we just want to say that today is National Taco Day.
And also Vodka Day, which goes great with tacos.
Did you have a taco today?
I didn't. I'm going to have to go get one after the show.
I didn't even know today was National Taco Day until like half an hour ago or something, but I had a taco.
Just conveniently enough.
I went to Taco Bell, which I don't really do very often, but
That doesn't count.
No, it's what?
That doesn't count. Those aren't tacos. Those are, I don't know what the hell they are.
I know.
Especially the one with the Dorito shell. Ugh.
I haven't tried that. I gotta say though that sometimes I'll have like a craving for something, and then I'll go and then I'll eat it, and then halfway through it I'll just go, "What the hell was I thinking?"
Yeah. Why did I do that? I'm so ashamed.
That was today at Taco Bell. They had. What did I get? I got the no, I forgot. I don't know the name of. I don't know. It doesn't matter what it was.
It really doesn't matter.
It doesn't really matter, but it comes with a taco.
All right. Well, let's get to the news.
Oh, let's get to the news. And you know what?
So
you know what'd be good?
iPad.
I know. It's like I get my iPad. I'm just gonna come right out and say it. Can I say it?
You're coming out of the closet?
No. Fuck Klout.
Staying in the closet. Okay.
What is it with Klout? I don't get it. It's like the most.
Another thing I don't understand.
It's just like the most useless social thing ever.
It is.
And now employers. This is an article on TechCrunch. Employers are looking for people's Klout scores to be hired. This is ridiculous. It's disgusting and it's wrong.
No, I think Klout really only exists to make unexceptional people feel better about themselves. And now, no, I'm serious. Like, if you have no other skills, what else do you have? Like, oh, I have a lot of followers on Twitter. Well, that doesn't translate into a whole lot in the real world. Okay, maybe you're a good salesman, and so maybe there's that aspect. But there's people on Twitter with a lot of followers that aren't and have no real physical, tangible, goods or skills, and
Right.
so then they're like, well, I have a high Klout score, so there's that, and now I guess it's gotten to the point where employers who clearly don't know anything about social media have picked up on this and think it's important, and so now it's going to sadly gain traction.
All right, Casey, let's talk about you. You're a web developer, and I'm an iPhone developer. Let's say we depended on our Klout scores in order to get a job. That means that part of the things that you and I would have right. That means that part of the things that you and I would have to do during the day is actually sit there on Twitter and talk about our jobs. Like, hey, guess what? I figured out how to do a drop-down menu on an iPhone today with an UI view. Oh, it's just,
instead of
no,
doing
that
something
doesn't.
real and good and furthering yourself, you're doing a lot of bullshit on Twitter, or like you said, just a lot of, it seems like selling yourself, but not even that really. It's just stupid minutia that shouldn't matter.
That's
at all.
true. But think about Twitter. Twitter started with what are you doing right now, right? That was its thing. It was like a little micro. I know people hate the word microblogging, but I really don't care. It was a little microblogging thing that said, I'm making a sandwich. I'm sitting on the beach, and here's a picture, and it's gorgeous. I'm having a really good day, or something, whatever. It doesn't matter. Most people that I know don't generally talk about their job on Twitter, and yet people's tweets are part of what makes up your Klout score.
If they have a job and something they enjoy, and they're talking about stuff they enjoy, then those two can, if there was a Venn diagram, there'd be, certain section of overlap. But no, I mean, yes and no. It depends. Like, I think there is a lot of people who talk about their work or complain about their work on Twitter, for positive or negative. But the two, yeah, I mean, if really, unless your job is in some way either dependent or deals with social media, okay, I can see that. But if this was like, for a checker at Rouse, why does that matter? I mean,
it doesn't matter, and that's the thing, is that I think that anybody that uses social media to use Klout to hire somebody doesn't understand a few things about social media. One, you can game the system. Two, people can hurt somebody's Klout score in the other direction. You get somebody who's vindictive, and they can. I've seen people give other people Klout scores on porn. You can do that if you wanted to.
Yeah, Brian Brushwood from NSFW and Twit.tv, he was given recently a lot of Klout score for kidneys.
Oh, really?
So I'm sure that will further his magic career tremendously. But yeah, like you said, you can totally game Twitter. You can actually buy followers.
Sure.
So what does that tell you?
It's not even. Here's the thing: is that people used to get a job without having to have something out there on the internet, and I grew up that way. Like, my very first job, you walk in and people ask you questions. What do you know? Yeah. What do you know about what you've done? Now, somebody like you, it's a little different because you're a web developer. So, of course, anything that you do would generally be on the web unless it was like something internal, right? So your stuff you would have a portfolio.
Yeah.
For someone like me, I would have like a portfolio of Mac applications or Windows applications that I worked on and such, and that would be okay. But people have to start somewhere. When I was looking for an iPhone job... So
you start in school, on Twitter.
When I started looking for an iPhone job, people came up to me and they would call me up and say, I don't know if I've told this story on this show before, but I've said it before on the internet, is that somebody said, you need to have 3 apps on the iPhone, on the iOS platform, or we won't even consider you. And I said, do you know what it takes for someone to write 3 apps and sustain them? and their free time. I mean, I have too. Like, I'm working on the second one right now. I'm still supporting the first one. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, you know, bugs are few and far between.
No.
But the fact of the matter is that then you got one, then you got a second one, then you're going to have a third one, and then you're going to get a job. And
You make it sound like they're children.
no, well, in a sense they are, because you have to take care of them. People send in bug reports. If you care about your work, you have to fix these bugs. So
No, that's
it's not
again,
realistic.
It sounds like something. Yeah, it sounds like an arbitrary just stat somebody pulled out of their butt who clearly doesn't know what they should be asking for or making a requirement for the position. Like, they're sitting there, you know, writing up the job description, and in the requirements section, they're just like, I don't know. Say they need to have 3 apps. I that sounds good. Sure. I mean, whatever.
It's just ridiculous, and I really, would you be the kind of person that would say to somebody's face, like, if your company is looking for Klout scores to get a job, then I don't want to work for you? Because I would most definitely say that.
I think depends on the company.
Well, that's true. But I don't think a place like Google would want to do
super
something.
awesome. Right? No, I would have a hard time believing like a super awesome company or place that I would really want to work would ask for this. But in the off chance they did, I don't know.
Yeah. I just don't like this trend of social media guiding how people get jobs. It's almost as if you have to have a part-time job, having a presence on social media.
Yeah, you just
and
need to
selling
hire
yourself.
a small child to tweet for you all day long.
You used to be able to just get a job on your own merits, your brains, being able, if somebody sat there and asked you, how would you solve this problem, how would you design this application, and you would say it. Yeah, of course, now with everything on the internet, it's easier to say, well, I'm doing this. But for me, I went from doing desktop applications to doing iOS applications, and I didn't have anything out there, but I knew what I was doing. I knew that I could, and now I luckily have a job where where people are happy with what I'm doing, because I can't even tell you how many interviews I had where people said, well, look, if you don't have anything on iOS on the App Store, we're not going to hire you.
But that would be true if you were, say, you were leaving any market or category and diving into a new one. Like, say my whole resume is all sales and marketing, and then all of a sudden I decide to go into, I don't know, car sales or restaurant or something like totally different. If my whole resume has stuff that is totally not applicable to the position I'm applying for, they're going to be like, look, sorry, we don't know. Like,
yeah, that's a little different though, because even though I'm changing platforms, I'm still a software engineer.
No, yeah,
and
but I could see where people would say that.
But yeah, but you know that iOS and OS X programming are very related.
Oh yeah.
So
it's the same language.
Yeah, I'm just saying that.
Well, like Cocoa is when they moved over to Cocoa. Before that,
I can say, look, I've done OS X programming, now moving over to the iPhone. Well, you haven't done any iPhone apps. Well, what's the difference? I mean, if I didn't learn OS X programming in Cocoa, I probably wouldn't be able to pick up iPhone programming. So anyway, we're getting a little off track, but the point is that Klout Score is not a way to look for a job or look for employees. No, it is not. But what we do have, this is amazing. You liked it. I thought it was kind of cool.
This is a better way to find a job.
All right,
and stop motion animation.
We're gonna.
Are you gonna play it?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you stopped. Yeah, we're going to actually play a video now. I'm going to start this thing up, but I'm going to scan forward a little bit now. And of course, we have these silly little things. People, stop putting 100 little tabs on your videos.
Yeah, we don't care about your reviews.
Let me turn this volume down a little bit. This is mine. There are like 100 of these things in this video. Please stop this, people. It's the Battle of Hoth from The Empire Strikes Back done in Minecraft. So let me switch the video over here. You've watched this. Now, this is... It's impressive that these things were done in Minecraft. The only thing is that nothing really moves.
Well, I mean, the people move and the little fireball bullet things move, and the camera does most of the movement and kind of lends itself well to, moving the AT walkers.
It's sped up a little bit apparently. So I know I know for people that are listening, it's essentially a static, three-dimensional walker, and fireballs come out of the lasers, but the walkers themselves don't move, and the camera just sort of pans or zooms, but that's it. So I give a definite A+ for all the work done on the walkers, but other than that, it's cool.
I think it's creative. They had some obstacles, obviously, because there's no real animation in Minecraft, so they had to come up with a way to make this work, and I think they pull it off nicely.
Yeah, it is. So I wanted to give props to that. I'll pause that. I like to see creative stuff. I really do. I have yet to see somebody create, with all the 3D tools that are out there now, somebody recreate the Battle of Hoth with like Maya or something like that. That I would like to see. True.
Maybe in a couple of years, because it'll take about that long.
Now, for a story that's a little close to home, this happened.
Well, for you.
Yeah, for me. This wasn't close to my house, but it was relatively close. There's a girl who faked a tweet. Or I should say, that faked a report of a break-in through a tweet. She says that somebody's in my house, call 911. And because this went out on Twitter, not only did her friends react to this, but it got retweeted. So the Clark Police Department got, I think, hundreds of calls about this, and it distracted the police from what was actually happening, which was the fact that the girl was running away from home. And so this begs a couple of questions. One, is tweeting something like this a fake break-in? Do you think that this is against the law? Because you would have to take your friends seriously if something like this would happen. It's no different than calling somebody directly and saying, somebody's in my house, call 911. Of course,
I mean, there's very, 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 very few limitations on the whole free speech thing. One of which, is like crying fire in a crowded theater. Sure. I would say this is kind of along the same lines. Using, and not even just yelling it in a crowd, but using a widely used means of communication to send out a message like that obviously was taken seriously. And this is horrible, and there should be, I don't know what you would do, but there should be some level of consequences. I would
agree with you on that there would have to be some kind of consequence on this. But then again, at the same time, I'm torn with this, because like you said, it's like calling fire in a movie theater, is that you're not really breaking the law.
But it also, like, okay, so when women, claim that they're raped by a guy, and it goes to, if that ever goes to trial, and they find that the girl was lying the whole time, she just doesn't just go home. There are consequences to that too.
That's true. But this got both town, county, and state.
Okay, so even more
involved.
If it got, all those resources involved, then that's time, money, and that's also pulling those resources away from anything else. If there was a fire going on at the same time, or some sort of other robbery, or just, any other thing that would have required police at that time, and they're being, used at a different location for no reason, really.
That's true. That's absolutely true. I think this is one of those events that are going to set a precedence in the
Yes,
future? Is
very
that
much so.
there's really nothing that they can think of. There's nothing on the books right now. It's like, well, is it a
Yeah.
lie? Is because she didn't actually get the police involved, although saying call 911 is sort of important. I think that might be the
It's not like she's beating around the bush or being coy. If she's out and out saying call 911 and her friends are obviously good friends. I mean, if this was the reverse, say it was real and she said my house is being broken into, call 911, and she had crappy friends and nobody did anything and she was hurt, that would another, just the reverse, but that would be a precedence too. Like
Yeah.
the same, kind of means like, oh, she makes an outcry on a social media platform and is ignored. Like that would have the same kind of effect. Well, not the exact same, but it would still have an effect.
Yeah. When I see something like that, my first thought would be the time that it took you to tweet that, you could have called 911 yourself.
That's true. This is also true.
That's
would
where
you
my bullshit.
tweet that and not call 911 yourself?
Yeah, my BS alarm goes off, and I go, "Well, why can't you do it yourself?"
But then, like, then you start thinking about the worst case scenario. What if she's like in the movie Taken and she's under the bed and she can't talk and all she can do is tweet out on her phone?
You dial 911, you leave the line open, they'll find you. I suppose.
I
Or
don't know.
do both.
I never called 911.
I mean, the way the phones are now, you can dial 911 and put it in the background, put the phone call in the background, and then tweet.
This
That's
is
what I'm
true.
saying. Is like my BS filter
Multitasking,
just
people,
goes.
come on.
Yeah, well, I don't know. That's true.
Okay. Anyways.
Entertainment Weekly had a digital ad in it that was unlike any other. Have you seen this?
I haven't seen it in person. I've seen the teardown videos of it.
There was it was a thick cardboard cover with a little cutout for a screen, and what was interesting about it is that when you opened it up, those cards. I just got one for my birthday. Those cards where you open it up and there's a little tab and then it plays some song with like a tinny speaker. Okay, so it's like that. It starts up this display. So Mashable tore this thing down, and it turns out that this display was actually an Android phone, a fully functional, working Android phone. Originally, the display was just to show live tweets about the CW, but they were actually able to use this thing. I finally watched the whole video. So they're able to make phone calls and run it. It had like a full menu. I don't remember what version of Android it was. It looked like an old version.
I think it was like gingerbread, they said. I think so. But yeah, it was programmed to just run this one application. They tore it open and shorted out a couple of things so that it went back to the home screen and just showed, totally Android, right? And the thing is, it's a full phone in this cardboard piece and with a keypad and everything, so they were able to actually dial out and use it, and they flip it around and the whole back plate is still on it with a camera and everything. Like CW just got a crate full of cheap Android phones and was like, let's just put them in magazines as ads. Sure, what the hell?
There are only 1,000 of these made, and it cost roughly $86 per issue to do it. So you figure it costs $86,000 for this ad campaign. I tried to find one of these issues. I couldn't find one. With only 1,000 made, 50 states, places like Alaska aren't going to get them. So per state, I don't really expect any to be in this area. But I looked on eBay too, and I couldn't find one.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, but I would really love to take a look at that and try it out. Because the reason why I think this is a big deal is because if they can do this cheap, $86 is really not that bad. You get something like this and you go to South by Southwest, and if you can find some cheaper or find some cheaper way of doing it, you could put these things on like telephone poles as an ad. With like, of course, it'll probably get taken down by drunk people during South by Southwest. But I'm just saying that if you put it in the convention center, maybe people will be more respectful towards it. But I think it's a great idea, for at least for a future device. If you can even strip down the hardware.
Ads.
Yeah, well, cheap ads. You can take out the camera. You can take out the keyboard that you don't need. Just have the guts. $86 for that. You could probably whittle that down to a $20 device.
Yeah.
So
More screens everywhere.
more
Yay.
screens and more T-Mobile. What's up with this?
So today, I think it actually happened yesterday. MetroPCS actually bought T-Mobile from Deutsche Telekom.
Wow.
If you remember, they were trying to shake off T-Mobile to AT&T last year, I believe, and that didn't go through. So they finally got rid of them to MetroPCS. If you've never heard of MetroPCS, you're not alone. They've been around since about '94, but they started in Texas and only really expanded westward. They have a much smaller market than T-Mobile, but yeah, so they're both going to be gaining spectrum through this merger, but they'll be keeping the name T-Mobile. So even though MetroPCS bought them, MetroPCS is going to take on the name T-Mobile, so they'll just be known as T-Mobile. And I think in about 2 years' time, they'll have gotten transferred over all the subscriptions, and everyone will, and they'll totally shut down, I think, the Metro PCS portion, so everyone will be on like the T-Mobile network. But yeah, so Metro PCS gains, I think, GSM, and then T-Mobile gains, what is it, Clearwire or Clear? That they're using for their 4G. So yeah.
We were talking before we started recording that Metro PCS went up in my area very, very little. It's not like you can see a T-Mobile store or something every 15 or 20 miles. Like there was one mobile PCS store, and that was it. You never saw anything in the mall. You never saw any ads for it. I saw commercials on TV, but that was it. So I thought they were just some smaller company that people would go to if they want something cheap, or they didn't care about big smartphones.
That's still true.
Is it? Because I really don't know much about them.
They're both still very small. I mean, even after this merger, like their total subscription count is still dwarfed by Sprint, which is dwarfed by AT&T and Verizon. So they're still the much smaller carrier, even with this. But yeah. Keeping each other alive.
What's up with this Nokia Lumia 820? This was just big news today.
Yeah, they just announced this. They announced the Lumia 920 a couple weeks ago, I believe,
from Engadget,
as the new Windows 8 phone. And so this is going to be kind of the upgrade from the Lumia 800. Whereas the 920 is from the 900. Both of which will only be on AT&T. I believe the 800 900 were only on AT&T, so there won't be anything new there. But these will both be running Windows 8. And like I said, will be the necessary upgrade if you want Windows 8 phone, since all current Windows Phone 7s will not get OS upgrades to 8.
Oh,
so if you,
see, that's interesting, because this is the big problem that I have with
really
Android.
Lame.
Yeah.
It's not like the carriers will just get it out eventually in time. Microsoft has said every current Windows 7 phone will not get the OS software upgrade to 8. You'll have to buy a whole new handset.
That's not right. That's not the way to treat your customers.
Why is that required? What do you have going on software-wise that requires a hardware upgrade? I can't imagine huge astronomical changes that require all new hardware. Like, you can't run Windows 8 on a Lumia 900. I don't believe you.
No, and not only that, but other companies, and Apple being one of them, HTC and even Samsung, they'll design their phones, and the operating system will be designed where you can at least run it maybe one rev back or two revs back.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Apple says, look, I mean, even Apple's allowing the 3GS to run iOS 6.
Yeah. And the Lumia 900 just came out like Mother's Day of this year.
Yeah.
So you're welcome, guys, for getting on to the Windows Phone bandwagon early. We're going to screw you anyways.
And this is what I don't like about the whole cell phone ecosystem. This is when people say to me, why you stick with Apple because you're an iSheep. No, it's because of BS like this.
We are iSheep.
Yeah, I'm an iSheep because I want to know that my phones are actually going to work in 2 years. I want to know that something that I just dropped $400 on is going to be supported. That's why I'm getting on a rant.
To a certain degree.
But you know what I'm talking about. I mean, you and I are in the same boat.
I don't know what you're talking about. Siri, what is he talking about?
Have you ever tried that? Wait, we should try this live. Siri, am I crazy? Let's see what it says. It's going to be a minute here. I don't know what's taking it so long. It's over Wi-Fi.
Uh-huh.
No,
Can never do it under pressure.
I know. It's still spinning.
Of course she is.
That's what he said. You know, Siri's been slow for me today. Oh, I really can't say. Yeah, can't say. Thanks a lot, Siri.
Doesn't have an opinion either way.
All right.
Like on most things.
I wonder how toxic this phone is. Do you know how toxic this phone is?
Not very, but more toxic than the 4S, apparently.
Oh, how do we know this?
Where was this? I found this article on geek.com, but I don't know who actually ran the test. 36 smartphones were x-rayed to discover just how toxic each of them were, since it has been a little bit of a topic of debate as to, the I guess just overall cancer effect of cell phones, since you're holding this up to your face all the time.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are really concerned about that. So there's a chart here. Overall, lots of phones, from the iPhone 5 to the Galaxy 3 S3 to the Palm Pixie to the BlackBerry to something called the Motorola Citrus. I don't know what that is. All the way down to like your HP iPac and iPhone 2G, which happens to be the most toxic.
Wow. The 2G.
So the iPhone 4S is second to the top and being the most green. iPhone 5 is a couple down from that. But yeah, the most toxic is the iPhone 2G.
Wow.
So all you hipsters still clinging to that like it's the new retro.
This is interesting. So I'm sort of like bouncing back between the video and the chart. Yeah, they x-rayed these things, and well, they don't really show much in this video. I mean, the video is not what I expected, but
it's a smartphone. Here's an X-ray.
Just to be clear, this is more about after you throw it away, not when you use it, right?
Oh, well, poops. Then I don't care.
No, you don't care. No, I'm just saying
how toxic it is to the environment.
Yeah, that's what I think it is. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Everything I said is totally not applicable. Then.
No, wait, of course it's applicable.
Well, then it doesn't pertain to the whole, cancer effect. Then.
Well, it might. That's what I'm saying. Is that this video is not very clear about whether or not it's during use or after you throw it out.
Well, they say teamed up with healthystuff.org.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe that doesn't provide me with much more. Anyways.
What's up with TDK, which is something that it's a company that I haven't heard of in so long. I thought they were gone. I really did, because I used to
coming back with a vengeance.
Yeah, well, I used to buy TDK audio tapes growing up. I would buy a vinyl album, and then I would record it right to tape, so that way I didn't wear the vinyl down so much. You're laughing. Go ahead, say it. Go ahead.
Get off my lawn.
Now, tell us how TDK is working with new hard drives.
So breakthroughs, I believe either yesterday or today on areal density is pretty much making way for 6 terabyte hard drives, since now they've found a way to get upwards of 3 terabytes on a single platter. Most 3.5 drives, and even some 2.5 drives, have 2 platters in them. So that's looking like 6 terabyte hard drives. Here we come.
That's really cool. And the thing is, with SSD prices dropping, but the density is getting it's going up slower than I want them to. That's why I'm still going with regular hard drives. I still don't have an SSD, and I know they're faster, and I understand.
Yeah,
that whole
no,
thing.
it's a trade-off. Do you want speed or do you want storage?
I'm waiting Well, we already got the less than $1 per gigabyte, which we were waiting for.
Yeah.
Now I'm waiting for the sharp drop. Excuse me, the sharp drop in price, so that more can be packed onto an SSD, and then we can see them be equal. I would like to buy. I would like to buy like maybe a 1 terabyte drive for about $70.
Yeah.
That's when I'll probably test it, or maybe a 2 terabyte one for about 150.
That's not far off. The 3.5, you can get a terabyte drive for almost that much now.
Okay, I haven't looked at prices in a while. So, The Hobbit. Of course, we can't have a show without Hobbit news.
This week in The Hobbit.
You know, there's somebody probably doing it out there.
Oh yeah, it's gonna once the movies start rolling out. Totally.
Well, that's true. The Hobbit is, of course, coming out in December. It's going to be first of 3 parts, and Warner Brothers has announced that there will be an extended edition similar to what was done with the Lord of the Rings trilogy, where there were the movies that came out, and then there were the regular versions on DVD and Blu-ray, and then extended versions on DVD and Blu-ray. So Warner Brothers' 90th anniversary is next year. And they're rolling out a lot of things for this. I saw that they're going to do a 3D version of The Wizard of Oz in the theaters. I have to say, I'm a little interested in seeing that. You're looking like, no.
No, how many times do people rail against the current 3D movies that were filmed with regular or shot in regular film
agree.
and then made for 3D after the fact and post? That's exactly what that's going to be. They can remaster it as many times as they want, but it's going to hit that. It's already hit that ceiling. You know, adding 3D on top of it is not going to make it that much better. 3D is just, it's a headache right now.
I agree to a point. Part of me also wants to see it in the theater because I can't even remember the last time I saw.
Okay,
The Wizard of
fine.
Oz
Make
in
it
the
for
theater.
IMAX. I'd see an IMAX movie without glasses than any 3D movie with glasses any day of the week.
I agree. I would rather do that. I saw Raiders of the Lost Ark in IMAX recently, and it was amazing.
Oh yeah, that was good.
It was a lot of fun, and I went with friends from high school, and so we were all like gathering together and seeing it again for the first time in 30 years. It was great. We had a lot of fun. What are you laughing at?
No, you're like, we all huddled together. I'm like, what?
Well, no,
okay, is that how you watch a movie?
Yes, that's what we do.
You got our Snuggies out and popcorn?
Making fun of me again.
That's okay, because guess how many lasers it takes to kill an iPhone?
Is this a joke?
No, apparently, if you want to kill your iPhone, it takes 5 lasers and a crazy powerful flashlight.
Well, it's 5 special kind of lasers. If anybody is familiar with Wicked lasers, and if you're not familiar with them, then why the hell not? Because they're awesome.
Because I'm a loser,
No.
apparently.
I'm going to switch over to the video here. They have this video where they show 5 of the Arctic spiders. Let me hit play on this thing.
I don't.
You just turn the volume down a little bit. But they've got 5 Arctic lasers. These are the 1.25 watt lasers shooting at one spot on an iPhone display. And it basically, well, I don't know if it shattered it, but it put a hole in the glass.
It definitely, well, the glass actually begins to spider.
Yeah.
Haha, get it?
Yeah.
And you can see it there. It's kind of like, you know, getting that spider web effect out. I don't think it actually pierces it, unless I'm wrong, because it continues to work throughout the demo with these lasers. It still works.
Yeah. But then later on, they use something called the spider torch. This is, I don't understand this. This is a flashlight, but it says it's got a 100 watt halogen bulb in it, but the thing puts out so much heat that it starts to destroy the display. And we're watching it now.
It cooks it in real time, like 10 times faster than the other lasers were making a dent. This just destroys the phone in half that time.
Yeah, they put the torch, which is essentially like one of those X-Files type flashlights. They put it right on the phone. It's not like it was doing it from a mile away or something like the lasers were.
Yeah, they just stand it up on the phone and let it sit there, and it just burns right through. And then he's trying to turn it on, like, oh, what happened?
And he can't turn it on.
Oh,
Gee, I
surprise.
wonder why. The funny part is that during that thing, he said to Siri, is it getting hot? And Siri says it's about 500 degrees.
Which makes me think, can she actually, like, is she taking that temperature, like, with her internal thermometer and just reading that off? Like,
I
is
don't
that
know.
actually what the lasers were putting out, heat-wise?
I don't know. I don't know because I haven't looked into faking Siri because some people have done it, but I don't know how easy it is. Like,
How hot is it in here right now?
It's only 68 degrees.
So maybe.
Don't find that particular.
She does, yeah.
I'm just always skeptical about things like that on the internet nowadays because anything can be shopped and
True.
such.
But I don't think that was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. It's pretty much the new, I think it's the new Will It Blend.
That's actually pretty good. Now, I have to say, I've bought stuff from Wicked Lasers before. I bought a green one. I forgot the wattage, but I bought it because when I was a kid, my dad was a physics teacher, and he used to make holograms. It was kind of fun. And I've always had this interest in lasers. I used it for like a week when I got it like 8 years ago or something like that. Now I never use it again. It's like, I don't know. What am I going to do with this? Not too many experiments you can do at home. So
Right, yeah. Oh,
anyway,
well.
turning 30 this week is the compact disc.
Yay.
I know.
Just on their way out the door, they turn 30.
It's funny because we're having another garage sale this weekend, and I was looking through my CDs. I have a lot of them because the first one I bought was in 1986, and I still think that you have. I mean, I know that you have better quality on CD than you can get digitally, but at the same time, when you've been buying CDs since 1986, you amass a lot of them, and after a while, it just got unruly, and I just said, I gotta dump some of these. I hate dumping stuff. I mean, I'm not a hoarder or anything like that, but it's like when you spend money on something, I just hate to just get rid of it because they're only going to sell for like a quarter a piece.
No, yeah.
Spent
I mean,
$10 on them.
I feel this way about DVDs, kind of for the same reason. I have far more DVDs than I have CDs.
Yeah.
And it's like all our music is on iTunes or on Spotify now, and
Yep.
we have like 4 boxes just of DVDs and their cases, and it's like you're lugging that around, from apartment to apartment or whatever. Like, why? This is like
Yeah.
we have everything, either in iTunes or ripped or digital or in the cloud, or you get it through Netflix, or you just never touch those anymore. Why lugging this extra plastic around for no reason?
Just a little history about the CD is that when I was growing up and I used to buy a lot of vinyl, the sound of vinyl, we had a good stereo at home, and the sound of vinyl is very specific and unique. When CDs came out, of course, the hisses and the pops went away. And that was the first thing that I noticed is that, now you'll never have that problem again. And it was almost as if it's like you're just dumping your old girlfriend. It's like, bye. Something new and shiny just came out. It wasn't until a few years later that I realized that you sort of miss that analog sound from vinyl that you got with CDs, but CDs that were smaller, and they took up a hell of a lot less space. So there was I got back into vinyl a few years ago, and that only lasted for a little while. I bought a bunch of albums, and then I went, well, I'm sort of done with this. Now I'm sort of thinking, after looking at this big giant CD collection that I have, that maybe it's time to just start ditching those, because I listen to most of my music in the car or on my speakers. I mean, I've got a good stereo system inside. So I think what I may start doing is being a little more choosier about what I buy on CD.
Yeah.
Doing it that way, because I'll buy stuff on hdtracks.com where you can buy like a 24 192 Studio Master, which is very nice. I mean, I've done comparisons and it's like night and day. But at the same time, they take up a lot of space in your hard drive.
Yeah. But soon we'll have 6 terabyte hard drives, so it's okay.
Soon we'll have 6 terabyte hard drive. I guess my point is that I'm not hanging on to CDs for nostalgia. That's for sure. I'm hanging on to them mainly for sound quality. But then as I get older and busier, I really don't have the time to sit and listen to albums like I used to, even as soon as 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Where I it's just a time thing. And my uncle was a huge vinyl collector. As a matter of fact, he just sent his collection to the National Archives instead of selling it, and his collection was valued at $90,000. That's how much vinyl he had. And again, as he got older, less time to sit and listen to music. So it's not so much a quality issue with me anymore. It's more of a space issue.
Well, yeah, space and even
quality.
more the time to just go through like your catalog and look for whatever disc or album that you want to listen to. Whereas if it's all digital, you can search that and index that in seconds.
And do that.
Yeah. What was the first CD you ever bought?
Journey Frontiers. I bought it in 1986. I was in college, and CD players, when they first came out, were hideously expensive, like DVD players were and Blu-ray players were. They were $1,000.
Yeah.
And I had just gone. I was at Trenton State. I went to the Quaker Bridge Mall with my friends. We're all like going out on a Thursday night or something like that. And as I always do, I spent a lot of time in the music stores. I can't remember the name of them, but I saw, as I was walking out, in the glass counter at the front of the store, a Sanyo CP10. I still remember the model number and everything, but it was there on display and it said $99. And I went, what? Like, here's a $99 CD player? It was cheap. I'm holding up my fingers. It was about 10 inches long. It was about the size of a CD, and then the back had it was like a little power supply or something like that. So you would push it, and then this little lid came. It was portable. It was built to be portable, but without the battery. Yeah. The battery was separate. I didn't buy the battery. But right then and there, I bought my first CD player and my first CD. And then I think a day or two later, I went back and I bought another Journey album and Meatloaf and all this like Led Zeppelin or whatever was out back then. I know it was Journey and Meatloaf for the first ones that I bought. And after that, I don't know. Emerson, Lake and Palmer, I think, was one of them. And people are going, who? So, yeah. No, I don't have those anymore. I actually gave them to somebody that I used to work with because then, remastered versions came out. They sounded better. But, yeah, for me, it was always about quality. And now I think it's about space and time.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I'm not talking about Doctor Who. I'm just saying, you get older, things change. So
Yep.
I think I'm gonna start doing things digitally now. It's a hell of a lot more convenient.
Yeah,
it is, and I've always known that. People like you make fun of me all the time. You're old. And I was not unaware of the convenience of digital downloads. It's not getting out of the habit of CDs. It's just when you've done the comparisons between digital and CD, and you know that CD is better, why would you buy digital? But now, I'll just go. I think I'm going to go digital.
You know why?
Why?
Because reasons.
Because of all the feels.
Yeah, because the feels, bro.
All right, let's go on to the quest log. Talking about something else that will never die.
Apparently not. I thought it did, but Namco's bringing it back.
Yeah, Pac-Man. They're asking people to decide on what the new look for Pac-Man should be. Now, I can understand them. No, I don't have a problem with this. I'm just bringing up the picture right now for the video feed. I'll just switch over real quick. They've got 4 different designs. See, the thing about Pac-Man, I like them all for different reasons, and I don't like them all for different reasons. I would think that, see, I can't really... B looks more like if Ren... Who is the illustrator for Ren and Stimpy?
Oh, I don't know his name.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. B, there are 4, A, B, C, and D. B looks like if Ren and Stimpy was
a little bit.
Did Pac-Man a
It
little bit.
almost looks more like the Adventure Time style that's going on right now.
Yeah, I could see that. A looks too CGI, and I don't like it at all.
Yeah, I hate it. It looks like mid to late 90s bad 3D animation.
Bad 3D. D has this weird sort of...
I actually like
60s
D
feel.
the most. Like, it looks like kind of a retro cell shading a little bit, and which is kind of coming back now. And I think I like that style the best.
I like a cross between B and C. D is giving me a little too much of a 60s vibe. Not digging it. But yeah, I'd have to say between the Ren and Stimpy one and C has a design I can't really put my finger on what kind of design that is.
It's more like your kind of traditional Saturday morning cartoon, a little bit.
But Pac-Man just will not go away, and I'm not complaining about that. I'm not saying it's bad. I think it's good that this little game that was created by Namco years ago is still surviving.
Yeah, take that.
Take that. I wonder if do I have any Pac-Man sound effects on this thing? I thought I did, but I guess I did not put them on here. I have Frogger. No. What else we have? Oh, talk about this Rift expansion, which may actually get me to try it again.
So, yeah, Rift is still around, just like Pac-Man. And they have an expansion coming out. It's due out November 13th called Storm Legion. And there were some new details that came out earlier this week saying that they were adding player housing to Rift now.
You know about me and player housing. You give me player housing, I'll probably play your game and stick with it.
The same goes for me too. I do enjoy the player housing. It never really, I don't know. It doesn't translate to anything more in the game than just wasting time and being in the game more. Like, player housing never lends itself to like your adventuring in the game, or crafting or anything else. I mean, a little bit in EQ2, like you can get some bonuses for stuff that's in your house, but very, very little.
Yeah.
It's almost always more adding just like one more thing to do in the game to keep you in the game longer, which I'm fine with.
I never really saw it that way because you're either going to play the game or you're not. And I found that player housing gives you a personal touch to a game that you're playing. It's like you can sit there and you can wear your gear and kill your orcs and goblins and things like that or whatever it is. But having a house is your way of saying this is my space.
Yeah.
And this is either you're doing it yourself or your character role playing. It doesn't matter. Fact is that this is your way of taking what the company, like in this case, like SOE for EverQuest 2, take what SOE gives you and then turning it into your own space, your own rules.
Yeah.
And so if Rift is going to do player housing, I may take a look at that.
Yeah, no, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I love player housing, but I know, obviously, from a game designer's point of view, the longer they can keep you in game, the better, which I'm fine with, because anytime I play a game and they don't have things like this, I feel like there's not enough to do in game, then I leave.
Yeah.
Like when Lotro first came out, they didn't have player housing, they didn't have instances or major quest lines, or story arcs. It was very, very basic from an MMO point of view. And I just couldn't really get into it because I felt like there wasn't enough in game to do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree. And speaking of MMOs,
yes, we've been busy.
We've been busy playing with pandas or killing pandas or whatever it is in World of Warcraft Mists of Pandaria.
Indeed.
Man, it's been a long time since I've really enjoyed playing the game. I mean, there was There is what you have to do, like in Cataclysm, you sort of had to do your thing. This is more like I'm loving it.
I know, I feel the same way, and it kind of makes me sad because that means I'm playing Guild Wars less, and I really didn't think I would be enjoying WoW this much at this point. I didn't even think I was going to play Miss for a while. Like, I knew I would play it eventually, but I figured, well, I'm going to keep playing Guild Wars for a while until that gets old, and then I'll move on to MOP. But I got MOP right away, and I haven't been able to put it down since, you know, as soon as I get home, pretty much, I want to get on and start doing stuff. The pet battles are amazing. Everything feels like has changed from the leveling. A lot of class changes.
Yeah, well, every class got changed because of their other talent trees, but speaking as a mage, there were some mixing of the talent trees between Frostfire and Arcane. Nothing serious, so I really can't speak so much about that. I haven't played my Druid yet, and I haven't played my Death Knight yet because I'm still working on rep and doing the rep and doing the dailies and doing the scenarios and everything just on one character. With the amount of free time that I have doesn't lend me a lot of time to work on other characters, so I haven't moved on.
Well, no, but you got to 90 already, so that took a lot of time. I played a good amount on my 85 chamois, and I'm still not 86 yet. Yeah. So.
Well, here's the thing. I want to say this. Now, I haven't done all my dailies yet. There's a rep called the Claxy, which I haven't started yet because I looked at the rep rewards and they're okay. But it's like I'm doing all that work for a pair of pants. I'll get them in a dungeon or something. But anyway, if you remember the Cataclysm dailies, the Hydral dailies would send you to this place. Can't remember the name of it, but then you would do your dailies in there. And then the dailies you turn them in and then you do more dailies. And I hated that area so much. I can't even put into words how much I dreaded doing those dailies every single day. But you had to do it because if you're a raider, you had to get the gear. These new dailies that they have now, it's in a wide open area, and I actually look forward to doing it now. So,
like I said, I played my chamois for a little bit, but they have changed that up so much. I love my chamois. I used to be Restro, but changed it last time I played to Elemental and was doing DPS and did really. Chamois were never the best healers, but they were pretty good healers and pretty good DPS if you were geared right. They have essentially nerfed all the totems. They're horrible healers now, and they're mediocre at DPS. And since they've totally nerfed the totems, which is kind of the main thing of a shaman, it really doesn't. It makes it a bigger pain in the ass than anything else, and I don't enjoy playing it like I did. But kind of who reaped all the rewards of this change was Paladins. Paladins are now the best healers in the game, believe it or not. So I'm leveling my old, which was 19 and now 30 Paladin.
Cool. So, Paladins are one of those classes that I was always sort of interested in, but not. I know a lot of people that played Paladins over the years, and they all love them, but never really told me why they love them. And so,
when WoW first came out, my husband rolled a Paladin as his first character. Leveled it to 60 super quick because it's super just dead simple to play. If you want, a class that is probably the easiest to play and dead simple and just, hard to kill, Paladin would be it. But on the same token, it was super boring because it was super easy. Like there's no challenge to it. And there wasn't. And so he ended up taking over my Druid because the Druid was more of a prestige character and he likes a challenge. So he took that and dumped his Paladin. But now, like I said, they've added a lot of bonuses to healing. So they're really good if you're a holy pally for healing. And then you're a healer wearing mail. Oh, and then plate at 40. Come on,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. You want your healer to be able to withstand a couple of hits just in case. And then on top of that, say that the healer could be an off tank or, actually hold their own. I mean, that's fantastic.
Yeah. For me, like I might have said this on this show before. I know I've said in Warcast that I started leveling a priest. I thought I got her into the 30s. I checked the other day. She's only 26. Really not thrilled with playing a priest. But I don't know. There was something in me that always said, roll a priest. And I did, and I just went, nah. It's just like a caster.
Yeah, they're very sad. Priest is now like that super boring character that the paladins used to be. They're the worst. I think they're the worst healers in the game at this point. They're mediocre at DPS and Shadow, and they're just overall boring to play. Like, they just take so long to do anything, and if you're soloing and questing, it just takes super long to kill anything, and you're super squishy, and it's just, it's painful. If you want something that's not just a challenge, but like the most painful challenge ever, there you go.
There you go. All right, moving away from that. Well, I'll talk about more of that on World of Warcast. I think we're recording this week. There's so much to talk about now.
Yeah.
Another stab in the back for BioWare.
I know. It just gets worse and worse.
I know. I'm laughing, but at the same time, I feel awful because I have so many mixed feelings about Star Wars Old Republic. Daniel Erickson has left BioWare. I think this is sort of like the final nail in the coffin. Everybody has left BioWare on the creative team for Star Wars Old Republic, and now it's like over. As far as the original team, the team that may have kept this thing going for a couple of years, now who are they going to give it to? Now the lead writer is gone, and one of the strong points of Star Wars Old Republic was the story. And it's not to say that there aren't any good other writers out there. Of course there are, but now they got to find the right person or people to fill that spot, and it's just another sad trombone for BioWare.
Sad Hulk music.
Sad Hulk music. No, I don't have sad Hulk music on the thing. No. Similarly, but not in a sad way, Cliff Bleszinski has left Epic Games. Now, I've always had mad respect for Cliffy B because, especially of Unreal Tournament, and everything that he's done for Epic Games.
Yeah.
And he's been essentially working his ass off forever. And he left Epic and said, I'm just chilling. And I think he deserves it.
Okay.
He deserves it. He has he worked on Gears of War, Unreal Tournament, just so many different things. And now I think it's his time.
Yeah, he was with Epic for 20 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. And I can't even tell you how many hours that I have put into Unreal Tournament over the years. Not so much lately, but Lindy and I used to have these mad games where he would come over at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'd have a second computer behind me or something, and we would just sit there and play multiplayer until like 6 in the morning. And then he'd go home. Yeah. This is years ago before we started doing that before EverQuest came out. So that's how long that we've been playing Unreal Tournament. And so, hats off to Cliffy B, and enjoy your time off.
Indeed.
Sure. And another sad trombone news.
Yeah, really.
Remember Draw Something?
What was no, I don't know what that what?
Draw Something, you know that game where you would have to draw a picture like Hangman and then the other person? You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, the game that I was really good at and couldn't freaking guess for the life of me the crap you would draw.
Oh, snap. Zynga has taken a $95 million loss. Now, how much did they spend for Draw Something?
$1 billion? I don't know.
It was some ridiculous. I don't even remember the number. It was some ridiculous
number. A gazillion. I think it was a gazillion.
I don't. Some people say this is directly related to Draw Something. I think that Draw Something has a large part of it, However,
Yeah.
this $95 million hit probably could have been avoided if Zynga didn't buy Draw Something as fast as they did. And I was just talking about this with Nicole on TGIFU, is that we would sit there and hang out and just play Draw Something with each other for like a week or two, and then it became a chore. And
well, once it got popular and like the masses bombarded it and all your Facebook friends were on it and you had matches going, like a list of 30 or more matches, and you had to go in and do your Draw Something dailies, and draw something for each of those matches, and it wasn't fun anymore.
No,
it was a total chore.
It wasn't, and so it stopped, and everybody stopped playing Draw Something, and I don't know if Zynga bought them so fast because they wanted to make sure that they got them before anybody else did.
Yeah.
But if they had maybe waited a week or so, then
saved a lot of money.
They would have saved a lot of money and saw the sharp drop for Draw Something. Excuse me. So.
Oh well.
Oh. Wah wah wah! I have to get a sad trombone. Wait, isn't there? Wait, there's a sad trombone. Hold on. There's a sadtrombone.com. I think. Hold on. Because
very good.
I think there is sadtrombone.com and there you go.
Thank you, internets.
Geek of the Week. We have nobody for Geek of the Week.
No, I wanted to I thought about putting the laser dudes in there, and then I thought about putting TDK in there, and I don't know. We could put the New Jersey girl in there.
No, I don't want to. No, I don't want to put her in there.
Not like a positive geek, like a retard geek.
How about Cliffy B?
Oh, okay, we can do that. Cliffy B, you're our Geek of the Week. Congrats.
Geek of the Week, Geek of the last decade and more.
You can be a Bro of the Week.
Bro of the Week. That's true.
He gets lots of feels.
Okay. Apparently his wife, at the time, the fiance was on Say Yes to the Dress, but I've never seen the episode.
I've never even heard of that.
Oh, it's just one of those shows. It's on like TLC or one of those shows where the bride picks out a dress. I don't know.
That's the whole show.
That's the whole show. I don't watch it. I just know of its existence.
Because you watch it.
I don't watch it.
I hope not.
No, I don't.
We're no longer friends if you watch that.
No, I don't watch that. Are we done?
All right. We are done
we have to get to
for
pandas.
This week. We do. We have pandas and dailies and brewfest things to do. I am at Casey Queso on the Twitters. This guy is at Star Mike on the Twitters. We are the Nexicon or Nexicon Studios at gmail.com.
Nexicon Studios at gmail.com.
We are the Nexicon.com. We are the Nexicon on Google Plus, on the Facebook. We are the Nexicon on the Twitters, and
we're everywhere.
Everywhere. Nexicon Studios on YouTube. That's where our videos are. In case you're listening on the audios in your ear holes.
Yeah.
Until next week.
We'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching and listening.
Bye.
Bye.